Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eljin, and to kick things off in 2026, we're going to start with our first project review on Narra Residences. Now, let me be very upfront. Narra Residences might not be the hottest launch of 2026, and you have probably heard of many people bashing, dairy farm, saying it's not profitable and so on. Now, we get it. It's not near an MRT. It does not sit in a major transformation zone. And this is a launch that does not scream massive upside. In this video, I'm not here to hype up this project or to sell you a dream. I'm going to break down who Narra Residences actually makes sense for and who should probably skip it, and why, despite its limitations, this is one of the cheapest entry points into a brand new condo in 2026, and whether you should buy this or consider the surrounding resale condos instead. If you're a first-time private buyer or a HDB upgrader trying to make a safe, comfortable move, then this analysis will help you to decide whether Narra Residences fits your situation. And if you have any questions regarding other projects or regarding your personal housing situation, feel free to scan the QR code to reach out to me. Now, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, because this will help to motivate me to produce more quality content for you. First off, we'll touch on the project information first. The two main developers for Narra Residences are Santali Realty and Apex Asia. For Santali Realty, its track records include St. Reed's and Sanctuary at Newton, which are boutique developments. The other two projects will be Tenet and Altura, which are executive condominiums. For Apex Asia, its track records include Ecopolitan EC and Artisan 8, which is a boutique development that has already been launched for sale and is currently selling right now. So moving on, Narra Residences is a 99-year project with the lease starting from July 2025. It comprises of 3 blocks of 6 stories, 2 blocks of 13 stories, and 2 blocks of 16 stories. That will give us a total of 540 residential units. There will also be 4 retail shops with 1 basement car park, swimming pool, communal facilities, and a landscape deck. So addresses will be 50 Dairy Farm Walk up to 56 Dairy Farm Walk. So land size is about 235,000 square feet. This is one of the largest land areas in the dairy farm area. So this is an advantage that Narra has, especially for families who value space in a development, because this allows the developer to achieve the desired build-up and still be able to dedicate a good portion of the site area for landscaping and facilities. Car park lots, we have 546 lots, including 17 EV lots and 5 accessible lots. So expected date of vacant possession, which is your TOP date, it will be in January 2030. Architect will be P&T Consultants. Landscape consultant will be EcoPlan Asia, and the main con will be Kimley Construction. Now, these 3 names are quite familiar in the space of new launches and private condo developments as well. Moving on to the site plan, you can definitely expect full condo facilities in this project. Facilities include 1 tennis court, a playground, 2 swimming pools, 1 family pool, and the other is a 50-meter lap pool. The developer has also set aside 66% of the site area for landscaping, so you can see open spaces, and the perimeter of the development is also lined with greenery. So very nice, very conducive environment. The 4 shop units will be located here at number 42. Next, let's take a look at the block-to-block distances. So the widest distance between both blocks in this project would be up to 62 meters, right, which is right over here between the 13-story block and the 6-story block. So the other setback distances are actually quite good, right? It's a good distance away from the roads and other residential buildings as well. And this is the aerial view of the development. So from this, the development looks quite well spread out, which will help to prevent over concentration in a particular area. Next, let's take a look at the location map. Narra is located beside Zhenhua Park and also near Upper Pierce Reservoir. There are buses in this area that can take you to Hillview MRT, and you can also travel up to Marine Parade, Stevens MRT, and Orchard. To get to BKE and PIE, it's also just a short drive away to the expressway. Next up is location profitability, which is the main concern that most people have. Everyone's saying that dairy farm is ulu, low demand, and low profitability. But the truth is, dairy farm isn't an area where people would deliberately go to. It's not like there is a Vivo City in the area. But is it really that bad? Now here we have 6 resale condos that have resale statistics that we can use to compare with similar condos in the West region. The first one is Dairy Farm Estate, the oldest and the only freehold one in this list. TOP year is in 1989, large unit layouts, and the compound is spacious as well. So very similar to Mandarin Gardens in the east, and its value is actually holding up very well against the younger leasehold condos. For the 9 to 10-year-old leasehold projects, their prices are transacting within a close range of each other. Do note that Forest Residences has transactions at low PSF of 10XX per square foot because these are either patio or penthouse units with large open spaces, hence the discount in pricing. But otherwise, the regular units transact at similar prices with its peers, which on average is around $1,500 to $1,600 per square foot. So does Dairy Farm lose out to other condos in the West in terms of profitability? Let's take a look. So to make it a fair comparison with other condos, we will look at similar TOP year for these developments. So looking at Kingsford Hillview Peak and the Hillier, these two developments are like the first few 99-year leasehold projects in the Hillview area, and quite evidently, its profitability level is lower than the Dairy Farm condos, although they are located near the HillV2 Mall and have a shorter walking distance to the MRT. Now, Hillstar is a development in Choa Chu Kang. It's not near the MRT, but same thing, the profitability level is lower than the Dairy Farm condos. For the next two projects, Lakefront and Lake Grand, they are both in Jurong and within walking distance to Lakeside MRT. So actually, in terms of profitability, it is actually quite comparable to Dairy Farm. Now, then some people would say Dairy Farm Residences is the issue here because its average profits are below $200,000, and on a per square foot basis, DFR actually struggles to breach the $2,000 PSF mark. So here I have identified a few issues that I feel are suppressing DFR's profitability. First, the new launches such as Botany and Narra, the launch timeline is very close, which means that when the DFR has just TOP, Botany was launched for sale, and on a per square foot basis, the launch prices were so attractive that it gives buyers very little impetus to want to pay more for a resale product. And now Narra Residences is launching before Botany even achieves its TOPs. It gives the owners at Botany very little time, to go and properly sell their units in the sub-sale and resale market. Now, there is also a future supply with an estimated of 8 possible GLS land parcels, which will actually temper developers' bids, as even now when Narra is launching, there is another GLS plot beside it that has been launched for tender, and it will be closing very soon, later this month. All right. And of course, DFR also had its previous maintenance fees fiasco, where the maintenance fee for a 3-bedroom unit were at $700, and after some hoo-ha and some pushback, it was slashed by 40% to around $400 right now. And furthermore, DFR had to endure the construction activity of Botany beside it, and now for the next 3 years, it would be Narra Residences, which is in front of it. So a total of 6 years of construction activity, which frankly is actually quite unbearable for those seeking tranquility. Next up is supply and demand, which is also one of the top concerns that buyers have going into dairy farm, because that area is not completely built up yet. So what is the total potential supply in the area, and would there be sufficient demand to absorb the supply? So let's look at supply first. This is from the latest URA master plan, and the empty land are demarcated for residential use, and I can identify possibly 8 land parcels, which are marked with the blue squares. So the latest one up for tender is this plot marked with a star that is next to Narra Residences. The plot ratio is only 1.4, hence it would be a low-rise development of up to 6 stories. Now, the tender will close later this month on 22nd of January. Now, the other land parcels with a blue square are those that have yet to be put up for tender. Now, as for demand, where would these buyers come from? So if you look at the purchaser address indicator, almost half are from HDB and the other half would come from private, right? So you have your HDB upgraders and you have probably your residents from the nearby condos wanting to downsize or upgrade, or their children also buying a condo that would be near their parents. Now, as for potential demand from the HDB upgraders, these are the MOP statistics for the nearby areas such as your Bukit Panjang, Choa Chu Kang, and Bukit Batok and Tengah. Alright, so from 2017 to 2020, we will be expecting 8,000 units and so on. So that will give us a total of possibly 56,000 homeowners, okay, that would achieve their MOP from the years 2017 right up to 2033. So next up is opportunity. So if you are still interested in Narra, then what would be the unit that you should look at that could potentially help you to exit with ease in the future? Because the last thing you want is to be stuck with this unit for the longest time, and you have to sell it below break even just to exit the property. So for opportunities, there is a low supply for larger units in District 23. And I feel that COVID kind of shifted our mindset permanently, I would say. Most families are still looking for space. And you already see it in HDB resale transactions where 5-room flats are breaking record prices, and older executive flats are still transacting at very healthy prices despite the lease decay. So supply-wise in Dairy Farm itself, there are only 265 units of resale 4 bedrooms in the existing condos, which make up for less than 10% of their total units. Currently, only 10 units are listed for sale at this time. So, and based on the incoming new supply, Botany will provide about 57 units of 4 bedrooms and Narra Residences at 61 units. Furthermore, if the potential vacant lands do materialize in the end, we could perhaps see a total of 415 units of 4 bedrooms out of 7,300 units in Dairy Farm. As for the pricing, Narra 4-bedroom compact will start from 2.4x million, which is actually pretty close to the resale prices. Now, we have to bear in mind that the asking prices for the current 4 bedrooms and Dairy Farm and Forest are around 3 million because these are much larger units. And for Forest, Treehouse, Eco Century, and Skywoods, they are already 8 to 12 years of age. And Dairy Farm Residences transacted prices in the last 2 years for their 4 bedrooms actually hovered at between 2.59 million and 2.608 million. Furthermore, these resale units are all non-harmonized layouts, meaning their prices would actually be higher on a per square foot basis if we exclude the area of the aircon ledge. And this would be the indicative price matrix for Narra Residences. The lowest PSF will start for the 1 bedroom plus study at 19xx per square foot, and the indicative price would be still below $1 million, and the most expensive on a per square foot basis would be their 5 bedroom with private lift that is indicatively going to start at 23xx per square foot, okay, at $3.8 million. Okay, let's take a look at the pre-harmonized layouts for the existing resale condominiums. So this is Forest Residences. Do take a look and pay attention to the living and dining area and the common rooms, okay? So for Forest, you look at the living and dining, it looks a little tight over here. Balcony space is actually quite big, and you have another small balcony in the master bedroom. So do note you have 2 aircon ledges over here. These are included in the purchase price. Okay, common rooms right now, they all put in a single bed. Now you can also put in a queen bed, but walking space might be quite tight as well. So next up will be Treehouse. This is their 4 bedroom layout at 1409 square foot. Transacted prices 2.2 million to 2.27 million. Same thing, you look at the living and dining areas, all right? They all put in within the same space. Balcony quite longish. Same thing for the common rooms. They also put in single beds. Okay, you can probably fit in queen size, like I mentioned, and it will be a little tight to navigate around the bedrooms. And I kind of estimate that the common bedroom sizes should be around 8 square meters. Next, Eco Sentry. Okay, 4 bedrooms at 1367 square feet. Transacted price is around 2.21 million. Okay, same thing, living and dining in the same space. But for Eco Sentry, you can actually choose to put in your dining area, maybe at your dry kitchen area if you choose to do away with it. Next up will be the Skywoods. They have a few variations of 4 bedrooms. Okay, you have 1173 square feet, you have 1195 square feet, and you have 1249 square feet. Transacted prices range from 1.91 to $2.3 million. Same thing, their living and dining are within the same space, but for Skywoods, their bedroom sizes are actually better. Okay, you can put in queen size beds. Now then, let's take a look at Botany, which is the latest new launch that will achieve its TOP really soon. Okay, their 4 bedroom is at 1270 square feet. Transacted price has ranged from 2.4 to 2.878 million. Okay, same thing, living and dining within the same space, your dry kitchen over here. Actually, if you do away the dry kitchen, then you have space to put in the dining. But then there comes another dilemma, which is where to put the fridge. Okay, but their common bedroom sizes are very good. I think this will be at least 9 square meters, where you can put in queen size beds very comfortably and still have very good room to walk around. Next up, let's look at the harmonized layout at Narra Residences. Okay, walk in, you have your dry kitchen, your dining and living area, they are quite clearly segregated. Okay, bedroom sizes for the common rooms at least 9 square meters, all right, at 9 square meters. All right, their 4 bedroom compact is 1152 square feet, and this will start from 2.4x million dollars. Now, next, the better layout one would be the 4 bedroom premium at 1378 square feet. Dining and living segregated, but if you notice, the living room is actually quite big, very good space, whereby they even suggested you can possibly add on a study in the living room. But if you don't, then the living room will look very grand, very spacious. Okay. Now, to conclude, I would leave you with a summary of the pros and cons of the project. But what I would want to add is that new launch prices in 2026 are not going to be cheap. Even bounce out units in ECs are almost at $2,000 per square foot today. So whether it is attractive to you as a home buyer or investor, again, it really depends on your objective. Now, moving on to the pros and cons. Let's say there will only be one mall, which is Dairy Farm Mall in the area. Then wouldn't it be ideal if you are staying within 5 minutes walk of it? Now, in this case, there are only 3 developments, which are Dairy Farm Residences, Narra Residences, and Botany at Dairy Farm, that have the closest proximity to the mall, meaning you can get to the mall without breaking a sweat. Okay, so other positive points of Nara would be, again, one of the lowest entry points into a brand new project in 2026. It is suitable for buyers who prioritize efficient layouts. Okay, and Nara is within 1 kilometers to CHIJ Our Lady Queen of Peace, Bukit Panjang Primary School, Perth School, the German European International School, 2 minutes walk to Dairy Farm Mall for amenities, and you're also near nature parks. There are direct buses to towns, and it has also good accessibility to the expressways. Now, some of the downsides would be There is no major transformation. There is no MRT convenience. There is no strong amenity hub. There is also potential supply from GLS land parcels. Everything I shared today is based on general market analysis, and if you are considering Narra Residences, it is good to plan your affordability, your timeline, your risk tolerance, and your upgrade plan. If you like a personalized buying analysis, including what is safe, what is risky, and whether there are better alternatives at the same price point, you can scan the QR code to reach out to me. Now, there is no pressure, no obligation. I just want to provide clarity before you commit. And with that, we come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the content useful. All right, goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.